we're gonna do sourdough pasta. If you could do it for bread, you could do it for pasta, and I'm gonna show you exactly how. So sourdough in itself comes with the added benefit of digestibility. Anything fermented is, easier on the gut. I'm not a doctor, I'm not claiming this is gonna change your life and you can eat 10 bowls of pasta or whatever. But the idea behind it is that the sourdough starter breaks down the hard to digest glutinous enzymes associated with wheat, making it easier to digest. Add 3 large eggs to a small bowl. The total cracked weight should equal 165 grams. Egg size varies, so use olive oil to make up the difference. Notice that my sourdough starter is actually sitting in a bowl of water. This is hot water, okay? I call this a hot water bath. It's very cold here where I live, so my sourdough starter is a bit sluggish, so it doesn't want to rise, or at least quickly anyways. So when you put it in a hot water bath, it sort of speeds up that fermentation, gives it a boost, and it's an excellent tip to get your starter to rise in cold weather. Add 40 grams of sourdough starter to the bowl. I'm using bubbly active sourdough starter. You can also use sourdough discard too. Whisk it all together. Add 300 grams of 00 or all-purpose flour to the bowl of a food processor. The beauty of using a food processor is that the dough comes together in less than 30 seconds. Now, there are several ways you can make fresh pasta dough. You can also do it by hand or in a stand mixer. After the pasta dough has rested for about 5 to 10 minutes, it's time to start kneading the dough. If you find that the dough is a little bit sticky, like mine is here, go ahead and add a little bit more flour. When kneading the dough, you're going to push the heel of your hand into the dough, folding it over onto itself several times until you have a soft, smooth, and supple dough. This should take about 1 to 2 minutes, and it's very therapeutic. Form the dough into a ball. Cover tightly with plastic wrap. Let the dough rest at room temperature for at least 1 hour before rolling out the dough. The gluten needs to relax. The other option is to rest the dough at room temperature for 1 to 2 hours and then chill overnight to optimize the fermentation benefits. Cut the dough into 4 pieces. Do you see these bubbles on the inside of the dough? That means that it was kneaded just enough. Dust your work surface and a sheet pan with semolina flour. Okay, so you're gonna pat 1 piece of dough into a little disc like this. I kind of just tuck in the corners and the sides to make it round. And then roll it out to about 6 to 8 inches. It doesn't have to be exact, just enough to get it started. The next step is to roll out our dough using either an attachment for a KitchenAid stand mixer. You can also use a regular hand crank pasta machine. That will get the job done. Or you can go old school and use a rolling pin, okay? All 3 options work. Pick what suits you best. The idea here is we want to roll the dough thin enough so that we can actually see our hand underneath. That's how we know we've got it to the right thickness. Slow. You're gonna go fast. Slow. So I roll the dough on the lowest setting 3 times, and then I take it down, or actually no, I go up to setting number 4, and I roll the dough on each setting twice. This is setting number 2. This is setting number 3. And finally, setting number 4. so here's the light test. See how you can see my hand through it? I mean, I could roll this thinner, but this is pretty much where you want to be right now. I want to share another tip with you. As you roll out your pasta sheets, pasta dough dries out very quickly. So check out this one. This is the very first pasta sheet that I rolled out. And do you see these edges like that? It's starting to dry out. This is not the end of the world at all. And in fact, I actually kind of like this texture because it captures the sauce. Whatever you're gonna put on this at the end, it sort of gets stuck on the surface. So it's kind of a cool quality. But if you ever see this, right, compared to this one that I just did, that's a lot smoother. It's just because one pasta sheet is a bit drier than the other. As I roll out these pasta sheets, I like to hang them either on the back of a chair or on this rod that I have back here. The reason being is that I like to semi-dry them first before we cut them into pasta strands. It will make for a better quality pasta, okay? It gives it a little bit more structure, it takes away that doughiness, and it's really easy to do. Semi-dry the pasta sheets for about 5 to 15 minutes, depending on the ambient temperature in the room. This is also known as curing pasta. So now we are going to cut our beautiful pasta sheets into strands. I'm gonna do spaghetti, I'm gonna do fettuccine, I think I said that earlier. I'm gonna use the attachments for the KitchenAid. So when your spaghetti strands are cut, I like to drag them around in a tray of semolina. You could do this in a bowl. I actually should have put more, but the goal here is that you want to separate all of your beautiful strands so that they don't stick together. And now we're gonna cut fettuccine. Ugh, an itch my face. I feel like Lady and the Tramp.